What is good, boys? Welcome back to another video. Recording back-to-back videos feels pretty good, I must say. So you may or may not know that tennis was actually my first love in sports, and since then it's become basketball. I've fallen in love with basketball, but I still have a special place in my heart for tennis. It was the first sport I really got into. And with that said, I used to be really big into the Topspin games before I was into the 2K games, NBA 2K games. And now they are actually doing the proper, I guess, naming convention in line with NBA. So we have Topspin 2K25, and this is the first for me. I want to react to the trailer here for the modes because I have a bad feeling that 2K is going to try and turn this into NBA 2K Topspin 2.0, basically, where things just get flooded with predatory microtransactions and that sort of stuff. So I really want to see what this game is going to look like, and we can go from there. So let's get into it. So this is my first time watching this also. I'll be reacting live to it with you guys. Just before we get started, if you do enjoy or you like tennis or basketball, either one, please leave a like and consider subscribing. It helps me out a ton. With that said, let's get into it.
Welcome back to another Topspin 2K.
Okay, so we've got the AO,
where today we will be sharing more information on the various game
me being from Australia is very cool to see.
I'm Jesse Scott, an associate principal designer for Topspin 2K25.
Try not to talk too much this first go around.
The game director.
Might be hard.
Let's jump into today's video.
And then we can rewind, obviously.
When launching the game for the first time, before heading to the court, it is recommended to start with a visit to the Topspin Academy, which is where you can learn the core mechanics of the gameplay and tennis in general. The Topspin Academy is narrated by tennis legend John McEnroe.
Hey, it's John McEnroe. Let's get started with the basic lessons.
Probably the most tame he's ever been.
To learn the fundamentals such as positioning, timing, or the different types of shots available. After watching a short video,
I'm going to try not to pause too much on the first go around here because we can always rewind, but just noticing, I don't recall there being a shot meter, at least in the 2K sort of NBA sense. That looks a lot more like NBA 2K shot meter to me than it did in past Topspins, so that is interesting. Not a bad look though.
You'll be able to practice on the court and demonstrate that you understood the lesson.
After completing the basic lessons of the Topspin Academy, you can go deeper and play the advanced and play style lessons. But if you're impatient to get on the court and play as one of the world's top players on the most prestigious venues, you can jump straight to exhibition mode. In this mode, you can play singles or doubles in local play against friends or the AI.
Okay, that's cool.
The game's roster offers...
All right, so let's pause here quickly. So this is actually one of my biggest complaints so far from what I've seen about this game. I currently play AO Tennis 2 as my tennis game of choice to get my fix. Reason for that is, I mean, it is older, but it has a feature where you can create custom courts and players. So the problem with a lot of tennis games is obviously there's a lot of pros ranked in the world and you're not necessarily guaranteed to get the rights to a lot of them. Now, sadly, my favorite player, Novak Djokovic, fellow Serbian and champion, world #1, he, I don't think, has given his rights to any tennis game developers for a while. I remember him being in Topspin 3, possibly 4, but no sort of recent games. They had Matchpoint Tennis 2, Kyrgios, another guy that I like, fellow Aussie. He is in a lot of these games. I don't believe he's in this one. So if we take a look at the roster here, this is probably one of my biggest gripes. I mean, you do have Federer, which is nice. Also, if we can just talk about that level system for a second here on the bottom left. So it says Roger is a level 30, Serena's a level 30. I'm pretty sure that means that is the max level, but I don't understand why they've done it this way, because in 2K, obviously NBA, when I say 2K, I'm usually referring to NBA. I'm going to have to get out of that habit, but I think even WWE and even AO Tennis 2, the game I was talking about, which you can pick up for really cheap, by the way, it still has an active online player base, I think on all platforms. But they use overalls like NBA, so I don't understand why we've gone to levels in Topspin 2K25. I think I'd prefer that to be, you know, Rogers a 99 overall, for example, and then we can get his younger version, sort of like they do in 2K rosters. His younger version can be a 98, his older version can be like a 92 or something. You do have Serena here, you have Medvedev, you have Coco Gauff, you have Tiafoe, you have a few guys, there's a few legends here as well. I believe that is, I want to say younger Andy Murray, but it could be current Andy Murray, so I guess we'll see how they rank him. Coco Gauff is there as well, Naomi Osaka. So they do have some heavy hitters, but my problem is, how can you have a current tennis game, right? Not just a current tennis game, but you're also under the 2K umbrella, which is, you know, one of the largest gaming corporations. You've got NBA, you've got GTA under that umbrella as well. How can you not offer these dudes enough money? Like, bring in Nadal, bring in Djokovic. That said, we don't know who the DLC is going to be. So, I mean, they could bring those in the future, but there is no player creator option as there is in NBA 2K and AO Tennis. And even WWE has a really comprehensive creator. So I kind of feel like that's sort of predatory. I think that's going to be to sell future DLC in terms of players. But I mean, it's very early to say that, but I just have a funny feeling that's sort of how 2K operates. I guess they could add a player creator in a future update, but I wouldn't expect to see it here. And if they do continue with this and this is moderately successful, we may see that in Topspin 2K26, but who knows? So, I mean, let's get back into the video here, see what they have to say.
Some of today's top young players, such as Carlos Alcaraz or Iga Swiatek,
I didn't mention
as
Alcaraz.
well as legends of the sport, such as Roger Federer or Serena Williams, just to name a few.
Just sorry to pause again, I know it's been probably 5 seconds, but interesting to note, I think these two are actually on the Legends roster. So when they were releasing the rosters, they had the male and the female players, current ones, and then they also had the Legends roster. So it's interesting to see. I mean, I know Roger's retired and Serena, but I feel like they could still be on the modern roster. I don't know, maybe that's just nitpicking, and then, you know, it's minimalize the roster of new players we can get, but yeah, that's just nitpicking. Let's keep going.
Finally, select a venue and your favorite.
Okay, so there's the AO Rod Laver. Love to see that. There's Roland Garros, there's Wimbledon, US Open. Cool. So
play styles and how
Miami Open. The court selection's pretty good.
After practicing in exhibition mode, you can use your 2K account to go online and measure yourself against other players.
Online play.
Just like exhibition mode, online exhibition allows you to select your player and to find a friendly match.
Wonder if this gets as toxic as NBA 2K.
We're also very excited to announce that all online game modes support crossplay for the first time in the franchise.
Cool. So they've nailed that right off the bat. That's very smart.
Next is 2K Tour, the online game mode where you can pick a pro and find a match against another pro.
Okay.
Each day, new featured players and objectives allow you to discover new ways to play and earn points to climb in the 2K Tour leaderboard.
Okay, so that's a competitive sort of game mode with specific objectives.
Is the ultimate
Here we go. Here's what we want. This is the MyCareer. So you can see 4 avatars for the male player, which doesn't seem like a lot, but apparently they have a ton of actual customizable face features and different sort of stuff. So let's see here.
Hundreds of options to customize your MyPlayer,
allegedly,
including the head and facial features.
Bet you any money this is going to lead into VC somehow.
Animations and
only
so much
2
more.
forehand animations to start off with off the bat. You would hope they add more with DLC, as I said, or just updates over time.
Your new MyPlayer, you can start a MyCareer and go from an unknown low-ranked player playing in small tournaments.
Okay, this is
all the way
cool,
to winning
man.
Grand Slams.
This is cool. I hope there's some sort of storyline, because
and playing in the world's most prestigious
AO
venue.
Tennis 2 has a story mode like this, but there's really nothing. It's sort of like Madden.
Your fatigue throughout the season to make it to the
Okay,
top.
so
Once your
I mean, the menu as well, looking at this is another complaint I have with tennis games. It's all quite lackluster. I mean, it still looks like a tennis game, don't get me wrong, but I can see some of the 2K influence. You can see on the top right, that currency. I don't know if that's VC or some other sort of in-game currency. You got a start menu there, play, tutorial, and then you can scroll through with the bumpers. So, I mean,
player has the hang of the game.
Fine.
World Tour is the place to be to take on other MyPlayers in prestigious tournaments and experience heated battles.
Okay, so you can take your MyPlayer online. That's cool. That's cool.
Crowds.
I rate that.
Win matches and go deep in the tournaments to earn
so there's
points,
online tournament play as well. That's really cool.
Make a name for yourself.
Yeah,
By
sick.
playing
Nah, that's
and
cool.
winning matches
Probably
and
get some cheaters in there.
Any game modes,
especially
your
on PC.
MyPlayer earns XP and VC.
XP and
allows
VC.
you to improve your
There it is. Here we go.
attributes and unlock coaches and fittings to define your playstyle. VC can be spent to customize your looks and tennis style and make your MyPlayer turn heads wherever you
Okay, there it is. Right, so this is huge. They've broken it down into 2 separate currencies, so XP and VC. So if we just go back here a little bit. So the XP points here, you can see this is essentially your attribute points, which, mind you, in NBA 2K, this costs VC to upgrade your 3-pointer or your mid-range free throw, driving layup, dunk, whatever. So this is a positive. At least we don't have to pay to actually be competitive. And from what it sounds like, for the most part, the VC, it's a different logo. So that is the VC up the top on the right. So you can use the VC for cosmetics. Looks like cosmetics only. I think he did mention, yes, I can see here the serve. So I'm assuming that's animation, that's bag, that's your racket, hairstyles and such. So if the VC is only linked to cosmetics and animations, I'm cool with that. Now, you guys know in 2K, animations can sometimes be just as important as badges or stats. That's another thing. I'm not sure if there's badges in this game, quote unquote. I don't know what they'd call them, but I haven't seen that yet. So we'll see if that's anywhere moving forward. But yeah, so I mean, if it comes down to just cosmetics, totally cool with that. They got branded stuff. That's nice. But I do wonder, is it going to get to a point where, for example, the Curios serve, right? I keep coming back to Nick, but I would say Nick is the best server in the world, right? In AO Tennis 2, he has a really good looking serve animation. I like his serve in real life. It's a little non-conventional. He gets really low into it, brings it back up, and then just smacks it forward. But that's how he gets a lot of power and a lot of speed behind it. So in AO Tennis 2, it is purely cosmetic from what I can tell, and then your serve speed / max power is related to that attribute. But you guys know in 2K, you can have an 83-point shot, and if your jump shot is animation X, jump shot X compared to jump shot Y, you might be a lot better of a shooter with jump shot X because that shot is either quicker, has a higher release point, etc. So I wonder if we're going to get anything like that. And in that sense, it is a little bit pay to win. You got to pay for those animations. But if it is only like 300 VC, that's fine. I just have a bad feeling with 2K's track record with money hungriness and such that at some point down the track, they do sort of extend this to being a pay to win thing where you actually have to upgrade your player. I don't know if there's any sort of my team mode in the works or in the future planned for this game. Obviously it's a bit different with tennis, but they would definitely find a way to make it work. You've seen it with WWE. So I mean, so far okay with the VC and the microtransactions. I just don't trust this company, to be perfectly honest. So let's keep it moving.
Customize your looks and tennis style and make your
I love
MyCareer
tennis dresses, man. They're so sick.
All right, that will do it for this preview. We can't wait for you to try out all the modes in Topspin.
All right, and we are at the end already.
I think you will enjoy them as much as we do.
All right, so here we have the pre-order, the special edition. So starting with standard, deluxe edition, Grand Slam. So you got Roger, Serena. You've got Alcaraz, Tiafoe on that cover. You've got the two legends here as well in the Grand Slam edition. And it is available April 26th. So that is coming up in a couple of weeks. Is there anything here? You can get 3 days early access as well if you get the premium version, I imagine. So, all right. Thoughts. It looks decent. So from what I've seen, I'm just going to mute this while we go through here the second time. But I mean, the graphics have been a bit of a controversial topic. Now, obviously, tennis games in general aren't super pretty. I mean, you've got AO Tennis 2 that I was talking about, which is the one I play. It's a last gen game. It's a PS4 game. Like, it looks good enough. And the thing is, the gameplay on AO Tennis 2 has always been a bit janky. All the ones made by Big Ant Studios, I think they use a lot of the same code. So you can tell that there's carryover and the same bugs appear. Like, you might go for a backhand and then while you're moving, he just gets basically disinterested and then just walks off and he lets it go. So I don't think the Topspin gameplay has essentially always been top tier. And from what I've heard, that is still true with this game. Now, the downside to that is they've never had a problem with the actual gameplay and the mechanics. But I think at this point, they've had years to work on this and improve the graphics. To me, this still looks like AO Tennis 2, right? Like, we can get up a clip of that game as well. I can show you guys that. Yeah, I just expected more from 2K, a big corporation, big gaming company, has a lot of money to improve the graphics just a little bit. So the court selection, I mean, looks pretty decent. Obviously, we didn't see him scroll down. I assume there's more. Court selection doesn't look like a problem. The actual graphics of the court and the stadiums doesn't look terrible. I was just at Rod Laver Arena, so that doesn't look too bad, at least from the image. So I'm not too worried about that. It was more the player models and the facial animations and that sort of stuff. Hopefully, the actual gameplay animations look really fluid. We saw a few, but we're going to have to see if they get in some signature animations and mocap these players, which hopefully they do. I mean, they do it for NBA. Maybe there just isn't as big of a market for tennis, which I understand. But hopefully they can grow it. And hopefully this is a step in the right direction. So, I mean, it looks like a decent amount of customization in terms of your actual MyPlayer that looks very NBA 2K-esque. You can change the actual dimensions of your nose and you can update your height and your body type and all that. Hopefully they add more animations. But yeah, man, so I think biggest concerns, one, obviously, first and foremost, it's a 2K game. I'm always going to worry about the microtransactions. I just don't trust this company at all, to be perfectly honest. You saw it with NBA 2K, with my team, for example, this year. They're talking about the player market, how everyone's going to be accessible. You can buy the players you want. Where are they? Still waiting on that to this day. There's no dark matters, essentially. There's no 100 overall cards you can just get from the player market. So they're not a trustworthy company, and it sucks because there's not really much competition, as I said, for NBA. You either play that or you play Live 19, which isn't great either at this point, but you do have some choices for tennis games, surprisingly. There's actually a fair few, but a lot of them developed by Big Ant. You can get them for cheap prices on Steam and even just in your local bargain bins and that sort of stuff, maybe on Xbox Live or PlayStation Online too. But like they're decent enough games. You can just tell the budget's not there. With this game, I get more of a sense that the budget is there, especially with the branding and stuff you can see here in the clothing. I just hope that translates into, that's pretty cool, they got the cup there, but I hope that translates into hopefully bringing in more players, or at least giving us the option to edit or download them. And then as well, just improving graphics over time. Obviously, it's probably too late for the build of this 2K25, but maybe 2K26. Just quickly before we get out of here, I just found a gameplay of AO Tennis 2 here. This is from Throneful, so shout out to you, man. But just have a quick look at this. I mean, this game is, I think, 4 years old. It's a last-gen game as well. You've got Nadal here going against Monfils. But, like, that's not too bad, particularly considering it's a PS4 era game. I mean, if you can sort of see what I'm saying, this is sort of comparable, I would think, to what we just watched with 2K25. And although obviously I would say 2K25 was a bit better, I mean, it's a 4-year difference between these games and a lot of money from a lot bigger of a studio. So, I mean, hopefully we can get something good out of this game. So I just wanted to thank you guys again so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please leave a like and subscribe. I might consider actually posting some Topspin 2K25 gameplay if anyone's interested in that. Maybe even just a couple of episodes of career mode, because I'll probably play it for myself anyway, so might as well throw it on here. But yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy, and until the next time, peace out.